YouTube world, back at it once again. Instant Classic 8. Second time doing this because I went too overboard. I was so hyped about it. As you can see from my title, I'm back doing top tens again, my faves. This one is all about markout moments, my favorite markout moments. The reason I'm doing this is because one, I had this actually planned out for about 2 months now. The other reason is I was watching Supercard of Honor 4 last night at about 3:30 in the morning. I was dead tired, but for you that have seen Supercard of Honor 4, when Kenta gives Davey Richards that Falcon arrow into the ground, I leapt up like it was, like I was, fully awake. That just shows you how good of a moment that is for me to mark out. So here's my top 10. Let me know what you think. Do your own responses, whatever. I'd like to hear from you. But let's start off. This one's from Lockdown 2007. This is actually the pretty much the entire Lethal Lockdown match. Well, I wouldn't say the entire. From the time they lowered the cage, with Jeff Jarrett uh, dishing out weapons to bashing. I don't know if it was Abyss or Steiner over the head with a garbage lid about 6 times. Um, you got Rhino giving a gore to Tomko outside of the cage to bust through the cage. Samoa Joe suicide dive. Angle and Styles on top of the cage battling. Angle throws Style off the cage. You got Christian getting a double choke slam onto thumbtacks. Abyss getting knocked in the head, or actually getting hit in the face with a guitar filled with thumbtacks. Just crazy stuff, Just I wouldn't say big markout moments, but it just kept going on, going on. Number 9, which is kind of recent, 2008 Royal Rumble, John Cena's return. Nobody saw this coming. No, that's what made it so well. Nobody saw this coming. I was thinking the Big Show. That's why I had heard, but John Cena shows up and I'll go nuts because the match, other than um, Snooker and Roddy Piper, and I say the intro with Undertaker and HBK, the match was pretty lackluster. So John Cena coming in there just re-energized the whole match and it just made it perfect. Like I said, no one expected it, so it was really good. Number 8, which is near and dear to my heart. This is from I think Raw's War 2001. Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle in the cage match. More importantly, Kurt Angle's moonsault off the top of the cage. Kurt Angle has one of the best looking moonsaults, period. Then he does it off the top of the cage. It was fantastic. Reason why it's near and dear to my heart because I was actually in the building that night. That was some really good stuff. And I can't discredit Chris Benoit's headbutt because he did that as well off the top of the cage. But the Kurt Angle thing was a sight to see. Speaking of moonsault, number 7, Jack Evans in ROH. I don't know the year. I think it was. I want to say. God, I don't know the name of the event. It was still Cage Warfare. Um, Jack Evans. This is kind of like a War Games match. Jack Evans comes running in. Commentators like, yeah, he really can't wrestle, but he's gonna do the one thing he knows how to do. He scales up like Spider-Man to the top of the cage and proceeds to just fling himself off. It was like a double moonsault onto everybody and the floor. It was onto the floor, so it was crazy. One of the craziest spots you'll ever see somebody do. Um, but maybe we'll see something crazy. Final Battle being streamed live on the internet, which is good stuff. Number 6, Eric Bischoff's debut in I believe it was WWF at the time. Um, did not see this coming. I wasn't following the internet at the time, so I knew nothing about spoilers. So I definitely wasn't spoiled by this. Booker T's cutting a promo with Coach. All of a sudden, he's got this crazy little look on his face, and in walks Eric Bischoff. I go nuts. Mainly because I was happy to see Eric Bischoff. I was surprised. I was wondering what they're gonna do. Well, not at that time, but later on, I was wondering what they were gonna do. Um, I had got on the phone with like 4 of my friends, and we were all marking out because I never expected to see Eric Bischoff on WWE TV or WWF TV at all. And like I said, it was fantastic, man. Really, really good. Um, let's go to something recent. Number 5. This is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker from WrestleMania this year, WrestleMania 25. The scenario: Undertaker throws HBK outside the ring. HBK skins the cat, gets caught into the tombstone by Undertaker. I'm thinking the match is over. And I'd have been cool with it because it was a good match. It wasn't really great, but it was a really, really good match. 1, 2, he kicks out. I'm laying there. I'm laying on the floor, mind you, at my house. I'm laying on the floor, basically like a kid in the candy store, like this, laying on the floor, and he kicks out. I jump up. That's the only reaction I had. Jim Ross talked about some out of body experience. I think I had one of those. I jumped up, screamed, was screaming, run up the stairs. Had to catch myself halfway up the stairs. Like, what am I doing? It was cause I did not expect it. It was some really, really good stuff, and it caught me off guard, and I marked out so hard. I don't recall in a long time that I've done that, but I watch that match about once every 2 or 3 weeks, man, just to relive that because it was such good stuff. But let me not go too far. Moving on, number 4. This is the debut, which I feel is the best debut ever by anybody. Chris Jericho in WWF. This was 1999. The Rock's cutting a promo. Lights go. Well, this is all doing with the Millennium Clock. He's cutting a promo. Then the Millennium Clock comes on, counts down, obviously leading to Jericho's future entrance. His the intros. Excuse me. Lights go down, pyro, and then the music starts. And what's good is they let the music play, and they're like, man, who is this? And then you hear break the walls down, and on the Titantron it flips and it says Jericho. And before I can go crazy, the lights come on, Jericho standing there, and I went nuts. I think this was either July or August of '99, so I don't think I was in school yet. So, man, the next day, because I used to record Raw every single week, the next day I was rewinding the tape back and forth, just watching, like, oh. Like I said, I don't think that debut will ever be topped. Speaking of debuts, one that didn't make my top 10, Kurt Angle's debut in TNA, even though it happened and people knew about it, it was still some really, really good stuff to see. But that is Chris Jericho at number 4. Number 3 would be Man Up, Kevin Steen and El Generico versus the Briscoes in the Ladder War. The first ever Ladder War. It was supposed to be the only one, but that's changed. Man, this was a good night. Everybody who was on Skype that night with, it was in that call. They know that was a Markout night. We were all timed differently, but we were all marking out. The best, I don't want to go too much into it, but the best part is that beautiful Doomsday device through the ladder. It can't be topped, man. I marked out so well. So hard. Then you got the package pile driver. You got the pile driver. Kevin Steen breaking his arm. Just crazy stuff, man. We gotta see it. Number 2, which is another match I watch about every 2 or 3 weeks. Shawn Michaels versus Shelton Benjamin. This is the Gold Rush tournament from 2005. Fantastic match. About 15, 16 minutes long. That's with commercials too. Fantastic match, but the ending, Shelton Benjamin goes for some kind of springboard move and gets caught by HBK in the most devastating sweet chin music you will ever see. Shelton sold it so well. He flings across the ring and Shawn Michaels just catches him right there, and I went nuts because I think that was the first time I've ever seen that. He did it a couple times later with like Rey Mysterio and stuff, but I think that was the first time I saw that, and man, that was amazing. Like I said, I watched that I watched that spot maybe like once a week, but I don't think it can get topped as far as that sweet chin music. As far as me marking out for Shawn Michaels, other than him winning the title at Survivor Series, that right there is the best, the best single moment to happen. And then number 1, Supercard of Honor, the first one, the six-man Dragon Gate match. If you haven't seen it, you need to go find some place, find a DVD, find anything you can to see this. I say for the final 8 minutes, I was just marking out. It just was nonstop. The only match that I've seen someone chant, "Please don't stop," and I legitimately agree with them. Don't stop the match. Really, really good stuff. So please send me your thoughts. Send me your top 10. We'd love to hear from you. Until then, Instant Classic 8. I'm out.